What's happening, beautiful people? Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to the European opening. We're 10 minutes into the European opening, and here's what's happening today. European stocks are seen lower today as virus resurgence weighs. Dollar slips and yen inches higher ahead of another Fed meeting that will last till Thursday. Gold remains volatile ahead of a Fed meeting, and oil is targeting the $40 mark again as another tropical storm has formed in the Gulf of Mexico. Welcome, everyone. Type your questions, interact with me, and I will do my best to answer all your questions during these broadcasts. Let's have a look at the markets and see what is happening today. European stocks seen lower as virus resurgence weights. That was released exactly 1 hour ago. Let's see what the article has to say. We're going to have a look at the charts, guys. We're going to have a look at the economic calendar and see what is expected to happen with the markets this week. So, European stock markets are seen opening lower today amid fears that an uptick in coronavirus cases causing fresh lockdowns will stifle the region's economic recovery. At 2:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the DAX futures contract in Germany traded 0.6% lower. The CAC 40 futures in France dropped 2%, while the FTSE 100 futures contract in the UK fell 0.7%. Yesterday, the UK Health Minister Matt Hancock warned that the country was at tipping point regarding COVID-19 as the number of cases have risen sharply in the recent weeks. He suggested that the second national lockdown could be imposed if people don't follow government rules designed to stop the spread of the virus. Good luck with that, guys. However, the UK is not alone in seeing cases rising sharply, with several countries across Europe, including France, Spain, Greece, and Denmark, having already announced new COVID restrictions in some of their largest cities. Moving on, economic numbers in Europe have shown a rebound of late enough to prompt the European Central Bank to revise upwards its growth forecast for 2020 at its policy meeting earlier this month. That said, these new localized lockdowns are likely to have an impact on sentiment, meaning the key focus this week will be updates on the September confidence readings through the flash PMIs and the German IFO on Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, this is the news. Apparently, people are not listening. People are not wearing their masks, and people are not trying to stay away from this COVID pandemic. And this is the result, guys. If you ignore something, if you ignore the pink elephant in the room, the pink elephant will probably hit you. It is misfortunate. Let's hope the situation will change. Let's have a quick look and see what is happening across the pond with the dollar slipping and the yen inching higher as Federal Reserve will have meetings this week. Today we have a public holiday in Asia, guys, in Japan. So I'll tell you more about it as soon as we get to the economic calendar. The dollar slipped and the yen and the yuan led Asia's currencies a little higher today as investors looked ahead to a slew of U.S. Federal Reserve speakers this week and to a decision on the inclusion of the Chinese government bonds in the global index. Moves were slight and volumes light due to a public holiday in Japan, as I was saying a minute ago. The dollar index, which tracks the greenback against a basket of 6 major currencies, dipped 0.2%. Trading as low as 92.77. Right, let's have a look at gold, guys, and see what is the latest news on gold, which was released 1 hour ago. Gold down ahead of Fed speeches, but losses capped by the weak dollar. And that's true. The dollar nosedived the entire week last week. Let's see what's going to happen with it this week. Gold inched down earlier today in Asia ahead of speeches by U.S. Federal Reserve officials later in the week. That starts today, by the way. Today in the afternoon, we're going to have Jerome Powell, the Fed president, testifying, with losses capped by a weak dollar. Gold futures were up 0.66%, trading at 1671 by 1 a.m. Eastern Time, while the dollar was down on Monday. Investors are turning their focus to Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, who is scheduled to appear before the U.S. Congress later this week for further guidance on the Fed's approach to inflation. Other Fed committee members include Charles Evans, Raphael Bostic, and Lael Brainard, and others. Also scheduled to deliver speeches later on in the week. The focus on Jerome Powell will be how much he is going to try to sway the Senate to provide more stimulus More stimulus in the US could lead to a weaker US dollar, and that would be positive for gold. Axie Corp chief market strategist told CNBC earlier on. A surge in new COVID cases in Europe also helped cap losses with the UK contemplating a new national lockdown. Countries such as Denmark, Greece already re-implemented the restrictive measures during the previous week. Right, I'm not going to go into the article any further, guys. Right, before I forget, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe anywhere you come across these fantastic webinars, which are designed to provide you the crude information and try and help you improve your knowledge, your skills, and why not your balance in your trading account. Now, I have a trivia question for you today. So if you know the answer, don't be shy, guys. Type your answers as we're going to start delivering massive prizes starting this week for the ones that answer correctly to the questions and for the ones of you that interact more. So without further ado, the trivia question of the day is, it's a very, very easy one. What basic principles drive commodities prices up and down, guys? Very, very easy question, which any trader, beginner or experienced, should know. What basic principles drive commodities prices up and down? This is the question. I'm going to give you a heads up. You have two basic principles. Yeah, I'm waiting for your answers on any social media where you come across these webinars, and you might win an amazing prize anywhere you are in the world. Once again, the question of the day is, what basic principles drive commodities prices up and down? Right, let's move on. See what is happening with oil, guys. We saw last week that apparently Libya is looking to join the OPEC or the OPEC Plus, and probably they will start producing more oil, hitting the oil prices. Now, oil inched up this morning in Asia, with concerns about new supply from reopening Libyan reserve balanced out by news of yet another shutdown on the way for the U.S. rigs in the Gulf of Mexico due to Tropical Storm Beta. Now, yes, the third tropical storm this month, which might turn into a hurricane, is again threatening Dallas, and we're going to have a lot of oil rigs again shut down for the week. I'll show you in just a second how Tropical Storm Beta looks like and where Tropical Storm Beta is heading to. So Brent oil futures inched up 0.05% to 43.17 by 12:38 p.m. Eastern time, and WTI futures inched up 0.05% to 41.34. Let's see where oil is trading now, guys, after the European opening. Right, oil was maintaining its gains of the previous week. The WTI futures contract rolled over to the November contract on September 20th. Right. Now, for the ones of you that missed the news last week, Libyan commander Khalifa Haftar promised to lift his 8-month blockade of oil exports, prompting Libya's National Oil Corporation to lift the force majeure declaration over ports and facilities where there are no longer any fighters. As yet, it is unclear as to which facilities fit the definition, but the prospect of further supply to an already saturated oil market is creating downward pressure on the prices. Well, as I was saying a minute ago, meanwhile, the Gulf of Mexico is bracing for the arrival of Tropical Storm Beta, the third storm to hit the area in less than a month, following Hurricane Sally during the previous week and Hurricane Laura in late August. Right, okay. Now, this is what is happening today. Let's have a look at the charts, guys, and see how the markets open today after the European opening. So we see oil pushing lower, targeting the $40 mark once again, and apparently giving up all the gains in the previous week. There is the market opening. Yeah, you can clearly see oil dropping. I'm on a 60-minute chart. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, for about 5 hours, oil has been dropping. Yeah, from 41.50 or 41.53 all the way down to 40.66. Yeah, if the movement will continue, short-term traders will definitely eye this support level. Yeah, they're at 40.35 or somewhere in that region. And if the downward movement will continue today, probably they will lower their take profits to the 39.40 mark, somewhere in that region. The RSI and the stochastic, as you see at the bottom of the page, are pointing downwards. giving experienced traders a bit of confidence with their short positions. Again, guys, it's worth mentioning that no one can predict 100% what's going to happen. We can only do our homework, do a bit of technical analysis. But remember that any news that comes from across the pond could anytime shift the direction of the price. However, for the time being, yeah, very likely short-term traders are aiming for the 40-30 level. They can ride the movement for another 30 pips, which on a decent lot size could bring good profit. The euro opened on a negative side today after pushing a bit higher in the Asian session. You can see the euro dropping for the last 4 hours, guys. Yes, so I'm looking at the last 4 candlesticks, which you see in the right-hand side. With the RSI and the stochastic pointing sharply lower. And in this case, very, very likely short-term traders will eye the 118.38, 118.40 level if they decide to go short on the euro. We're going to see what's happening in the economic calendar. Maybe we have some announcements today that might shift the direction of the European currencies. Having a look at the pound, guys, the pound traded sideways more or less during the Asian session, missing the volumes. And after the European opening 20 minutes ago, we can see it pointing downwards, currently trading at 129.38 with the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards. Very likely for short-term traders, for short positions. Okay, we're looking at the 129.16 level as a support level. And we take it from there. If the movement will continue, then most traders will probably eye the 128.79 mark, again, as a short position. Again, remember, guys, it's not a must to go short on the pound today. This is the probable direction. However, any news could shift the direction of the pound to the upper side. Yeah, and if that's the case, then most traders will open long positions targeting the 129.88 level. Okay, so trade with caution today and see what's going to happen. The USD JPY, we can see the dollar losing strength versus the Japanese yen. There you go, guys. It dropped for the entire Asian session. And by the looks of it, is looking to continue the losses today. Okay, the dollar has been in a downtrend versus the Japanese yen for about a week, guys, since the 13th, 14th of the month when it started dropping. You can clearly see the very narrow trend channel. There it is. Okay, this is the trend channel. Yeah, we see the RSI and the stochastic in the oversold levels. So let's see if we're going to see a bit of a correction today. If that's going to happen during the European session, if that's going to happen during the New York session, only time will tell. Moving on, the Aussie dollar, just like gold, is giving back any gains that it made on the Asian session with a slight drop. Again, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards. Okay, very likely traders will eye the 0.7290 level as a support level. All right, now let's move on. Let's move on to USD Canadian, which is moving higher. So long positions. Sorry, long positions. We see a resistance level at 132.37. Yeah, on the USD Canadian. We see a support level at 130.138. So now that we have established the range of USD CAD, okay, we can break it down even more with another support level somewhere halfway. Okay, so if you want to be very cautious, okay, you can trade it. You can trade the short swing, which happens from there to there. Okay, or you can trade the long swing, yeah, which happens from there to there. Now that you know the wide range and the short range, yeah. Now RSI stochastic pointing upwards, yes. So let's see if the US dollar will manage to break out, okay, towards the upside from this level, from the 132.05, guys. Sorry, I had to move the resistance level a bit higher. So if it's going to break through that, then probably traders will eye for the 132.38. Right, let's move on. Let's have a look at the US dollar index, which is apparently strengthening, which traded at its lows during the Asian session. Again, touching a very important support level at 92.78 from what we see here. And it bounced off it, okay, for the last 4 or 5 hours. Apparently heading a bit higher. Again, whoever is trading on the dollar index will probably eye short term. Yeah, a long position at the 93 flat. Okay, we're just below that. Okay, and take it from there. Yeah, if the dollar will decide to push even higher during the European session today, then probably traders will eye the 93.15 or a bit higher. Okay, if the movement continues. But again, trade with caution, guys. We never know what might happen. Looking at gold, currently trading at 1959 at its lows, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing upwards. So again, we see a bit of divergence between indicators between the US dollar and gold. Usually they move in completely opposite directions, but now there's a bit of uncertainty on the market, so only time will show us what's going to happen. Light crude is trading at 42.52 again, pointing downwards, and very, very likely, yeah, trading very, very close to its support level at 42.36 from what I see here, or somewhere around that region. Again, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards. Silver is losing momentum just like gold, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards and trading at its lows. Yeah, very likely targeting the 26.57 mark, if that's the case. Right, and now your favorite, guys, the Bitcoin, which is still trading just short of the 11,000 mark where we left it on Friday. Currently trading at $10,947, pointing downwards again towards its support level, which we can see here at 10,841. Okay, let's see what's going to happen with Bitcoin later on today. Right, this is what is happening with the markets, guys. This is the European opening. Now, the answer to the trivia question, which was, what basic principles drive commodities prices up and down? The answer is very, very simple, guys. The basic principles that drive commodities prices up and down are supply and demand. Okay, these are the basic principles, supply and demand. This is the right answer to this question. Okay, without supply, you don't have demand. Without demand, you don't have supply. So supply and demand are the basic principles. If you know the answer to the question, well done. If you type the answer to the question, you might win an amazing prize at some point this week. If you haven't, there you go, guys. This is the whole point of me having these webinars, teaching you how investments work and how Forex works bit by bit. Right, this is what is happening with the markets today, guys. Join me at 4:30 and let's ring the bell for the first time this week for the New York opening. Remember to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you come across these lovely webcasts and support us in delivering more quality content. This was it from my side today. I'll see you at 4:30. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.